During my childhood, I didn't grow up with malls, by the way.
In 3, 2, 1, JB.
KL. Okay.
Ooh.
Hi there, my name is Edro,
And my name is Yan Ping.
and this is the Teo-logy podcast. So wait, do you see what we have done with our set? We just upgraded and changed slightly. We have transitioned to chairs. Tell us what you think and whether you think this is actually a good sort of a background.
Yeah, and thanks to the people who have been giving feedback, visiting our house, and just giving suggestions on how to improve our studio.
Yeah. Some are actually from professional production house, and they help fix certain lighting aspects which we appreciate lah. Yeah. So Yan Ping, why not you bring us to today? What are we going to talk about?
Yeah, so we have been in JB for a year, and we feel like it's been enough time to actually make some comparisons on where we lived previously, which was KL to JB. And one of the things, which is today's topic, is when we moved to JB, we realized that we saw quite a few familiar names around. And when we say familiar names, I mean names of malls. So what we didn't know before we moved to JB was that some of the KL malls actually have
Their counterparts.
their counterparts, or like they duplicated the malls in JB. And a lot of it is really similar, like the blueprint is the same, or the branding, everything is the same. But of course, there's always some differences. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, so perhaps walk through our listeners the 3 questions that we aim to answer. And it's just to save you the trouble. If those 3 questions were not the same questions that you were having, you can just skip this whole video straight lah, save you the trouble.
Because this is a chill video that we're talking about fun stuff. So I guess the first thing we will talk about is why we think Malaysia has so many malls. And then we'll proceed to actually do a vote. So we haven't actually discussed what is our vote, but we will vote mall to mall, the KL version and the JB version.
So we are going to find out about these votes as fresh as how you guys are going to find out as well. Yeah, because we didn't discuss this.
Yeah. And then third, I guess some unique traits that we see in JB malls due to geographical location as well.
So Yan Ping, why not you bring us through the first point?
Yeah. And you can feel free to share your thoughts as well on why do you think Malaysia has so many malls? Now, if you lived in Malaysia, I think you'd just be like, oh, that's life, part and parcel. But if you lived outside Malaysia, you'll realize that not every country or not every people group have their lives revolving around malls.
Nope.
And I remember, for example, in the UK, there's like one mall in my whole town. And, when people think of doing pastime, they will go like for picnics, they will go run at the meadows, they will go and, row a boat or something. But when you live in a big city, somehow like it's just all structured around a lot more buildings, right? And in particular, I feel for Asia, it's very heavy about malls.
Yeah, wait. So the one thing that malls exist also assumes that people have free time actually to go there. Yeah. Why I say that is because I remember during my childhood, I didn't grow up with malls, by the way, because my father was working outstation. My brother was studying in university at the time because he's 11 years older than me. And my routine was my mom's routine. So it was school, tuition, come back, repeat cycle, and that was the flow. So
But
I never got in malls.
Did you hang out with friends?
Yeah, only in my secondary years. That also was very rarely. But friends also sometimes they have birthday celebrations in their houses. Never went out to the malls until I was like 17, 16, really at that age. And that also in Malacca when the AEON Mall opened up, which we'll talk a bit more later, right? The AEON Mall, as a whole in Malaysia. Then it felt like, oh, there are things to do in the mall. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you take it off from there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely when you're a young child, unless your parents bring you to the mall, you can't go alone. But I do see nowadays it's quite a lepak culture for like teenagers and stuff. But on that note, I think also your area has to have developed to have a mall. So maybe that came a bit later in your life. But my honest theory about why Malaysians love their malls so much is two main reasons. Number one, at least we didn't start out, we're a lot better now, but we at least didn't start out with very great public transport system. Yeah, so what that meant is that you had to have a car to drive to anywhere. You didn't have a very convenient access of like bus or even trains. Obviously now it's a lot better, for example in KL. But what that meant is that it's a lot easier for people to have one-stop centers to do activities. So you basically need to get some form of transport to get you to one spot, and then you don't leave that place for like hours.
And by the way, as Ping is sharing her theory, right? Keep in mind that the disclaimer here is we were not town planners, we were not developers, or property, real estate agents and what that to identify the full civil engineering logic on why certain things were done. But where we are observing is just through a very Malaysian behavior of how they are treating malls. Yeah?
Yeah, and just looking at developers build mall after mall, like even if there's enough malls, you just build a new one and then the old ones just die out.
Yeah. Or people just continue cycling through malls like how they cycle through cafes.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think looking at that also, like the way people design malls nowadays, it's usually like a mall next to an office or next to a housing condominium.
Yeah. Or the mall, the condominium is above the mall. So it's a one stop. Yeah.
Yeah, so the idea of one-stop center, because you just need to get to one place and then you do everything there. Yeah. But my second theory, of course, is a little bit to do with weather. So Malaysia is a very hot place, and malls have aircon. Yeah. So we would spend, people always say like malls are the air-conditioned playground of Malaysia. So we would just spend our time there enjoying aircon and playing, leisure and whatever other luxury stuff that you want to do there.
Yeah, so now these developers who make these malls, they have caught on to the pattern, and so now within each mall it's supposed to be self-sufficient. There's like enrichment centers, activities to do, anything to kill time or to make you consume stuff, be it whether it's food, shopping, entertainment. Even so, what's the most important thing? One of the many important things most malls will have that will attract people is Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi. Yeah, and there's just sitting zones where people waiting for their wives or husband, they're just sitting there hours and on end, just scrolling through Instagram or TikTok, which is quite scary lah. Or some even playing games lah. Yeah, like some deadened moment. But yeah, that's how the malls have evolved, at least in Malaysia, and I think it's a very unique selling point. I don't think other countries may think so elaborate about their malls as much as Malaysia. Maybe
Put a lot
Asian
of thought
yeah.
into our malls.
So yeah.
And on that same note, right, I do think that has transformed our society, or maybe even it was like that because our society has a bit more consumeristic slant to it.
Which is sad.
All our entertainment is like, you need to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what we think about why Malaysia has so many malls. Do you have anything else to add on that?
Nope.
But feel free to let us know if you have other theories on why we have so many malls. But we're going to go into the fun part now, which is we're going to compare malls.
Yeah, and in this case, there are 3 malls we're comparing. Yeah. Why not we give you a chance to pause and comment below what do you think are the malls that are available in KL that are the same in JB as well. Yeah, so you pause this video, but we're going to continue with this talk right now.
Yeah, so there are actually 3 big names. I'm going to list them down, and then of course we'll go through them one by one. First one that you will see the minute you come into JB, you come through Skudai Highway, is Paradigm Mall. Honestly, Paradigm isn't a very big mall in KL, but it's a big mall in JB, and we will talk about that more later. Second mall, also a very familiar name, is known as Midvalley.
But it's not called Midvalley Mega Mall. It's Midvalley South Key.
Yeah, because you're not in the valley.
But same group.
Yeah. And then third is, well, it has a name of its own as a shopping center, but it is Ikea.
Yeah, but it's connected to Toppen Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like how the Ikea in KL is connected to IPC. Is that right?
Well, not true, really. It is a mall on its own, and then it's attached to two other malls.
Ah.
So on its own, like the KL one is really just Ikea Mall, but here is Ikea Toppen Center.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do here is, are we gonna do like 3, 2, 1? We shout which one we prefer, and then we share why we prefer it.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's start with Paradigm.
Okay, you wanna count us in?
Okay, so we're gonna vote which one we think is better, the JB Paradigm or the KL Paradigm. We'll just state JB or KL. In 3, 2, 1, JB.
KL. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. So try and start with the difference first. Why I think so obviously JB Paradigm is newer. So in that sense it's refined in terms of how it's designed, spaces used. I think what KL Paradigm has, I know what JB Paradigm has that KL doesn't have, but let me go what KL Paradigm has, right? Is that the Paradigm Mall, there's an open space outside the mall, which the Extreme Park has able to utilize it fully for the purposes of the extreme sports lah, flying fox and all that, all in one place. And I find it fascinating how they are able to capture that. And number two, at least I observe, and I'm sure probably JB Paradigm is similar, is they are always constantly innovating and renovating. Yeah. And in that sense, I think KL Paradigm wins simply because of location. For me.
That's because you used to live there.
No. What I mean by location is that the land that they got and the design able to award them that large open air space that JB Paradigm doesn't have.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean, because the escape system in KL Paradigm is definitely more thought out. For starters, for people who don't know what the escape activities are, it's how would you it's like active sports in the mall.
It's like sky tracks inside the mall.
Yeah, it's like Skytrax in the mall, and I really think it's a genius whoever pitched it to the malls, because I'm imagining the person just saying, look at all the floors with the space in the air. Don't you want to make money out of it? Like, you can fill your floors to the brim, but here's all the air that you can do stuff with. And so they did like hanging ropes and flying fox and all kinds of stuff, right? So agree with Edro that the KL Paradigm escape activities are much more comprehensive, and they're just put together. Whereas the JB Paradigm one only started building their escape activities last year. So they only launched last year.
Which means?
They were a bit more built as an afterthought. So they kind of picked up any space all around the mall, which means like activity A is in one corner, activity B you need to walk across to another place.
Yeah, activity C is in another open space kind of thing.
Yeah, so they're disjointed, they're not connected.
Yeah, but why not you share one thing that JB Paradigm has?
I feel JB Paradigm has more hype. Like Singaporeans like to go there.
No, but the one thing that,
Okay, the one thing that they have is an ice skating ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, KL Paradigm does not have.
Yeah, but I mean, you can go to Sunway for that lah.
Sure. And I don't know if there are other ice skating rinks in JB.
I don't think so. I think it's the only one. Yeah.
It's the one and only, unless we're wrong. But with that, I also do think that the JB Paradigm is more central, and it is bigger.
Oh, yes, it's bigger. Yeah.
So it feels more like the go-to mall, whereas the Paradigm in KL is more of a like
one of those malls.
Yeah, one of those malls. If you happen to live in the region, you will go there. If you don't live in the region, you wouldn't travel to go there.
Okay. Next mall.
Okay. Second mall we'll vote on is Midvalley.
Okay. So what? KL and JB, right? Between
Yeah.
KL. Okay. So 3, 2, 1, JB.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Hands down.
Okay, why don't you start then?
I think yes. Mid Valley is a huge mall, mega mall in Klang Valley, and it's connected to gardens and the whole ecosystem within it. But in JB, the design is almost exactly the same as Mid Valley, but it's slightly smaller. What they have done is they have interwoven gardens malls designs within Mid Valley, and so they look newer and fresher. I'll add two more things. Then maybe Yan Ping can add the remaining. Um, like in Mid Valley KL, right, the highest floors are all disjointed. Like you have to go up and down, go up and down. But the top floors they have this kind of web-like roads that interconnect. So this is a very nice view. And last but not least,
Wait, so you're saying that the JB versions, the web is interconnected?
yeah, and the KL one is just is the design doesn't make sense. And then last but not least, have you heard of Impulse Gaming, right? So Impulse Gaming is actually originated from JB, where they are the place that sells all the kinds of gaming sets from PS to Nintendo Switch and whatnot. They have the top floor. They have this like 3 level experience of Boys Dream Center to play your games there, your PlayStations, to buy your games there, figurines, paint, all sorts of even Lego sets, and like you go from level to level. Yeah, and I don't think any other malls have it in, and it makes sense if then Impulse will then want to eventually move to KL side to set something up similar. But that's a treat for a person who appreciates innovation. So
Yeah.
for these simple reasons, right, this extra refinement makes Mid Valley the better choice. And Uncle Roger is opening their Nigel Ng is opening his this one there lah.
Not like I think it will add any worth,
Oh,
but
cause Singaporeans ma.
yeah.
Yeah.
But on the Impulse Gaming, it was quite funny for me because that taught me that I am not a gamer and he is or used to be, right? Because the first time we went in,
Still is lah.
he was like, okay, let's go in. So I went in. I was like, yeah, wow, it's like a maze, that kind of thing. But I was like, let's walk through the maze. Where he had to like hold me down. I was like, wait, stop! I want to look at the things.
Yeah. Or appreciate the things around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good fun for gamers, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, for me, I think why I vote JB Mall is actually because of the smaller size. So fun fact, the KL Mall is called Mega Mall, the Mega Mall, Mid Valley Mega Mall, and the JB Mall is called the Mall because it's not mega. Yeah, it's a sweet, a cute size, and it has pretty much what Mid Valley has, but it doesn't feel so like overwhelming or gigantic. The car park when you go to the KL Mega Mall, it's very easy to get lost. But in the JB one,
Oh, that's so true.
yeah, it's quite like easy.
Very clear cut. Yeah.
Correct.
And I have friends from Batu Pahat that when they drive to JB, one of them go-to places is just to walk around Mid Valley South Quay. Yeah.
And Mid Valley has current line, the JB one.
Yeah. Which is, if you want, did we talk about current line before?
Not sure. We can double check. If not, we will feature it in one podcast.
Yeah, but I think we did lah. Yeah. It's a nice Hakka store.
Yeah, it has opened up in KL, the KL Paradigm.
What?
Yeah.
Like current line open up in KL Paradigm.
Yeah, we
No.
went there to.
The Starling.
Oh, sorry, not Paradigm, Starling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on to our third and final mall that we're going to compare. After that, we'll do some honorable mentions,
Okay.
which is the Ikea.
Yeah.
So comparing Ikea KL with Ikea JB.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
KL.
JB. Okay. You want to go first this time?
I just feel that the KL Ikea is a standalone on its own.
And you have to clarify, this is not the Cheras one. You're talking about the one in
No,
Uptown,
yes,
Damansara, yeah.
the one that for the longest time was like largest KL in Asia or Southeast Asia. I can't remember. Yeah. So it was a mall on its own, right? And everyone just went there for the IKEA experience. You go for the meatballs. You go for the and it's like floor after floor. Yes, the layout is pretty similar in the JB one, but I do feel like the JB one is narrower, so it is more vertical than horizontal, and it's attached to the mall. So the mall is nice, but if I just were to evaluate IKEA as itself, I would still vote the KL one.
Okay, so I'm really wondering whether actually the blueprint is the same. Yeah. Okay, so one thing I don't like about the JB one is the parking at Ikea JB is, I think, vastly confusing. Every time I go there, I still don't know how to get out. I need a few turns. But I think the plus point to me comes at the mall that it's attached to.
So you're voting it for the mall.
Correct, the Toppen Mall. I think Toppen Mall has at least few things running for it. I think the toilet,
Yeah, overkill.
yeah, there's like the, what do you call that, light,
Vanity light.
vanity lights shining your face. I'm not saying other malls don't have, but then with the landscaping within the toilet, with the aircon, the perfume, the music, it's like you're just sitting in an experience lah. I'm not comparing with like Japan's toilet or whatnot, the one that can spray your butt.
Yeah, but it is like a 5-star hotel toilet.
Yeah, and then their resting zones are not like massaging chairs and whatnot. It is spots where you can slot in your money to play Nintendo or PS games at the gaming zone. And similar to Starling Mall, they have a rooftop garden with a water park on the roof for kids to play. And so with that, there's these things going for it lah. Which maybe I will take this time to mention how we find JB malls are very family oriented, which is understandably so, because in KL or in Klang Valley, it is very economic driven, individualistic, like solo work people. But in JB, you find way more of families. So the kind of stalls or events that happen cater to families. So there's a lot of family friendly kind of design and shops if you were to come to JB and observe. Yeah.
Which I feel leads on to our final point on like certain special characteristics about JB malls. First is definitely like what Edgel mentioned. It's way more family friendly, and like the activities or the entertainment is thought through as, how do you cater to families rather than how do you cater to individuals. Yeah. But second would be, I would say even the AEONs can stand quite independently.
Yeah, definitely. And we didn't visit every single AEON, but no, we visited 3. AEON Kulai, AEON Bukit Indah, and AEON Tebrau. And they were all steady. Maybe you give your thoughts first before I add mine.
Yeah, like you don't really go to AEON in KL to shop. You go there for groceries.
Yes.
To me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't go there for like entertainment. And that's probably because there's just too many other choices going around.
Most likely.
Yeah, but then in JB, I feel like the AEONs are also pretty
Complete?
and they are quite go-to places as well. So for example, AEON Tebrau has Sutaya.
Yeah. And not just Sutaya, like, there's a whole slew of things which I didn't get enough footage, so you go see yourself.
Yeah, and then AEON Bukit Indah, like when Singapore thinks of planting their like first Malaysian branch or whatever restaurant, they do think of AEON Bukit Indah. Yeah.
Which also informs me whether the management in AEON is doing something right in how they are developing. And there are so far 2 kinds of AEON that we identify. One is like the one in Kepong, where it's just one block up, down, and you're done. And then there's this more elaborate one, similar to Malacca AEON, where they will get every single industry in the whole space for you to chill and relax, like what we mentioned early on in this episode of why malls exist. Yeah.
But again, maybe it is because there's lesser competition. So
That's true. Yeah.
well, then our third point about malls in JB is a lot of them cater to, you guessed it, Singaporeans.
Yeah.
And what that means is it has a significant number of certain industries in particular malls. A classic one is KSL, of course.
Which one JBN said it didn't used to be like that. But when you go to KSL, almost on the parking area is all car washes. And then on top floor is all the cut hair, nail polish and food. Manicure. So it's like, for JBN, it's like, why am I there? You know? Every food stall is like 1-2 ringgit more expensive than the normal one, obviously because it's catering to one type. Like for the same fried rice, I'll just go to a normal hawker stall because it tastes the same. Yeah, not that we ate there before, but point is, yeah.
Yeah, but it also makes you think on what are the things that you are willing to sort of stinge, or you think it doesn't matter too much if you compromise on quality. Like washing your car, right? If I paid 15 Sing versus I paid 15 ringgit, I think is quite a good deal.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like think so much about the quality of my car wash, for example.
Correct, as long as the car gets washed. Yeah. And then I think another mall which I find unique, in terms of one main reason is Sutera Mall. Yeah. And I think Sutera Mall, changed their marketing management recently because a year ago it was different. Now they're expanding and there's development going outside of the mall around it also. Yeah, which again, we're speaking from a very consumeristic mindset, raises the economic value. But one thing I'll bring up on Sutera Mall, then you can share the rest, is Sutera Mall is like a much brighter, nicer Sungai Plaza. Very fair? Yeah. So but there's this open air aquarium, which we always choose to go every time we go there, just to touch this. Is open air means, right, your hand can touch the water and you can see the fishes from underneath. There are 3 huge arapaimas that are just swimming and minding his own business, and you just touch the arapaima and he's like, yeah, touch me lah, you know. I think I have a video for it. Yeah, but yeah, so that's another mall. Now, before Yumping adds on, clearly we didn't cover every single mall. We don't have that kind of time. We just wanted to highlight to you our thoughts on the differences on the malls and why malls are such a thing in Malaysia. Yeah. So yeah, anything you want to add on?
No, I think feel free to share with us your thoughts on like Malaysia's development of malls, or like if you have malls to introduce us, feel free to do so. We may or may not go, but happy to know as well.
Yeah, and I find it really cool if you all decided to come to JB just to visit these malls just to see for yourself because of this podcast lah.
Yeah, let us know what you vote for.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for now.
This is the Teo-logy podcast.
Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.